Oh, hello there. How may I help you? Oh, awesome. Just getting into skating? Oh, well, that's wonderful. Okay, so what all do you think you're going to want to get today? Oh, you need everything. Okay, well, that's perfect. I'll do my best to help you out. Sure. Okay. Well, I have a couple of pairs of skates over here that I can show you. We do have more that's like in the other room over there. There's skates up on the wall and stuff you can look at, but I can show you a couple of pairs that I have here. Okay. All right. I'll show you the cheaper pair that I have and then one that's a little bit better quality, so you can kind of see the differences between the two. Okay. Alright, so this pair of skates it's okay for starting out with, but there are some things about this skate that are not the best. It has vinyl boot, which is alright. Actually, the other pair that I'm going to show you also has a vinyl boot. There is a little bit of a difference in how it's made. Yeah, hold on one second. This particular skate, this one has a bolted on toe stop, so you can't adjust this one. It's gonna pretty much just be where it is. So if you started skating and you felt like you needed to move your toe stop, further away from the ground or closer to the ground, you're not able to do that with this bolted on kind. Right. Also with this pair, this is what you call the plate, and it's plastic. Yeah, so the plastic ones, they're all right, but they're not as reliable for withstanding a lot of pressure or weight or jumps or anything like that. You just have to be really careful with these because they can break more easily. And then these are called the trucks. This area here is the trucks. These can be adjusted on this, which is good because sometimes if you're starting out and you're trying to get going and you can't seem to get your wheels to turn, a lot of times it's because your trucks are too tight and you need to kind of loosen them up a little bit so that it gives a little more direction. Yeah. So you can adjust that on these. And these particular skates come with flashy wheels, which are really nice. And these wheels are about an 82A, because that's another thing with the wheels. Depending on what you want to use the skates for, you'll have different types of wheels. So an 82A would be okay for outdoor skating and also not bad for indoor skating as well. The higher the number, the harder the wheel will be. And if you're on like a skating rink or a tile floor, you know, in your house or something, you know, if you wanted to start practicing in your house first, you need a harder wheel so that it runs more smoothly on that surface. But when you go outdoors, you need a softer wheel that is going to go over the bumps and, you know, all the different types of surfaces like concrete or asphalt, things like that. So these would be okay, but a better wheel for outdoor skating would be a 78A, and I can show you some of those. Hold on one second. Okay, so this is a 78A wheel, so it has a much softer surface to it. So when you're outdoors, this is going to go over those cracks and, you know, uneven places that you're going to find when you're outdoor skating. And it has really good bearings. The bearings are nice and smooth, and they spin really fast. Because when you're skating outdoors, you also need to be able to go over those different surfaces like cracks and bumps and things like that with a little bit of speed. Because if you're going really slowly over those dips and whatever it might be, you're liable to trip and fall, because you do need to have a little bit of speed in order to get over them, even with, you know, the softer wheels, because if you're going slowly, it's going to be easier to catch on that. But 78A are great wheels, and there's different sizes, there's different numbers. This is just a really good one that a lot of people use for outdoor skating. So if you want to do any outdoor skating, you might want to think about getting some wheels like this. But like I said, you know, if it's an 82A, those are pretty good for indoors or out. Because the thing is that, like, if you're skating indoors and you have a soft wheel like this, it's going to be really grippy on the floor, and so it's not going to want to really roll as well, and you're kind of, it's like if you're trying to learn how to turn or anything like that, it's just kind of, it's going to want to get stuck. It's not going to want to really do what you want it to do. So that's why you need a higher number wheel for indoor skating. I mean, a lot of people, you know, go up higher to even like 101. So there's definitely a range depending on what you're looking for. But these are really good for outdoor skating. Okay, so hold on 1 second. This is another one. These are 82As, and there's definitely a difference. It's softer, but still hard enough that it will work indoors. So these are good for either one. Now this one is a little smaller because there's different sizes with the wheels as well. And actually, hold on, let me grab one of those other ones. Let me show you this. It may be a little hard to tell for sure, but if you look at these two, this wheel is a little bit bigger. This is a 60 millimeter wheel. This one is a 58. So even though there's not a big difference, there is a difference surface-wise and height-wise. So I have found that with these bigger wheels, I feel a little more secure with them because they cover more surface. So you kind of feel like you've got a little bit more that's holding you up versus a smaller wheel. But these are still relatively close in size, and they're both really good either way. But this is the 78A and this is the 82A. And there's a little difference in the way they're made too. This one's a little more rounded on the outside, and this one's a little more squared. So there's a little difference in the way they look. Okay, hold on one sec. Now, I do want to show you these skates. These are much better quality skate than the other ones I showed you. And I'll show you some differences with these. Now, like I said before, that one was like a vinyl boot, and so is this one. This one is a little more stiff, which is actually, I think, really good for, especially for beginners. Because you want that ankle support. You really do want to make sure that your ankles are good and supported, so that, you know, when you're first starting out, you might be a little wobbly, and, you know, and I feel like it makes you feel a little more stable by having it that way. And this one is leather lined. This one has a nice padded tongue area, which is pretty comfortable. This one also has an adjustable toe stop. So with this one, you can actually adjust this if you want it to be lower to the ground, or if you want it to be higher off of the ground, you know, whatever your preference is. And as you get going with it and you skate some, you'll start figuring out, you know, which things you prefer. So this one, you can adjust it. This one also has, this is an aluminum base plate, which is much better. Now, this is not a top of the line skate by any means. This is still considered a good starter skate, but this one is still not designed, even though it has the aluminum plate on it, it's still not designed for like jumps and things like that. You don't want to get crazy in these skates. Even though this one does come with a jump bar, this is called a jump bar right here, which is also aluminum, but these are really not for getting too wild. These are really good for starting out, and it's very good for, you know, gliding. It's a good gliding skate. So if you wanted to go to the skating rink or something, these would be really good. And this one comes with, these wheels are, they're actually supposed to be indoor-outdoor wheels, but I've tried them both ways, and I would not recommend these for outdoors. I honestly am not sure what they've rated this one as far as, like, this is not a 78A, and I really don't think that these are even an 82A. I think they're a higher number, because these work really, really well indoors, like on tile surfaces and things like that. They are wonderful for that. But if you take it outside, they won't work. So you would definitely want to change your wheels for skating outdoors with these. But these are really comfortable, and as you can see, I've decorated it a little bit with some little pom-poms. And I changed out the laces on this too, because I wanted to dress them up and make them look pretty. So, and that's another thing with the laces. Skate laces are much longer than regular shoelaces. But sometimes it can be difficult to find laces that are long enough. So what I did with these is I found 2 pairs of different types of laces that were different colors. So I've got this one here that has some like blues and pinks in it. And then this one has like pink and orange and yellow. And so I tied the 2 together, and it made a lace long enough to go up. And one other thing about lacing skates. Now that other pair of skates I showed you does not have these. It's just, you know, you just lace it up the same way all the way up that boot. But on this one, it's got these. And with these, it's very important that you lace it up properly. So you want to always make sure that you go up over the top and over like this. I mean, obviously you'll be using both laces, but you want to make sure that you go up over the top, not up under like that. You don't want to do that. It pulls on it, and it's not the best way to do it. It's much better if you go up and over when you're lacing your skates. But I really like these skates. I think these are wonderful starter skates. Very, very comfortable, and they feel very solid. So that's another thing. You know, you really want a skate that feels solid, that makes it's going to make you feel more secure and more comfortable all the way around. And another thing is, when you've got your wheels, whichever wheels you're going to use, the tightness that you adjust them is going to make a difference as well. So when you're just starting out, sometimes it can be a little bit better if you have them a little bit tighter so that they don't roll as fast. Like that's not really a fast roll. As you can see when I spin it, it doesn't really go very fast. And that's good if you're wanting to just get started and you're afraid of your wheels just sailing out from under you, you know, because that can be very scary. So, you know, if you have them tightened up a little bit more, then you can try it. If it seems too tight, then you can loosen them up a little bit. And let me show you the tools that we have that you can use to do that. Okay, there's different types of skating tools. Oops. This particular tool that is just for your wheels. So this will fit right on your wheel, and then you can turn it to loosen it up to take this off, and then you can tighten them up, you can loosen them up whatever you need to do with the wheel. That's what this one is for. That's what it will do. And let's see here. There's also this type of tool, which is also for wheels. So you can do the same thing with this, but this will also work for adjusting your toe stop. I don't find it works for adjusting your trucks, and this particular truck has a bolt in it that requires like a screwdriver. Not all are made this way. This particular skate has it made that way, so you'll need like a screwdriver to get in to adjust that. And then there's also this type of skate tool, and this one has different functions and different sizes depending on what you need it for. But again, let's see if this is it. And once again, you've got one for your wheels. Generally, I guess you could use this one for this. This one will fit on the truck. And this one, let me put this down. This tool actually also comes with this. Now this is mostly used for skateboards because this is a skate tool that can be used for different things, not just roller skates, but can also be used for skateboards. But it has different sizes, depending on what it is that you need it for. So this is a really good one to have. And I find it's kind of easier to use, depending on which way you need to use it for. It's pretty easy to use. So I like that one myself. Let's see here. I did want to show you this too. I was just talking about the laces for the skates. So here's an example. This is one of the laces that I took out of that skate to put in the colorful ones. As you can see, it's really long. It's very, very long. And then I've got some sparkly ones here that are not as long. Let me just see here. Just show you the difference. Let's see where this one stops. And there's like all this lace. So this lace is not long enough, but you can either tie two of the same color together if you like to lace them, or you could tie two different colors together to lace them up. And I think that looks really cool, actually. I really like the way it looks when you have different colored laces going together. I like it. So we do have laces. We have just the plain white ones, and we have different colors and stuff, which there's more in that other room where the skates are. There's other options in there you can pick from. And then another important thing, and I find it to be very important, is protective gear. Especially if you're going to skate outside, but even if you're just going to be practicing indoors, it's still a good idea, especially being a beginner, if you wear all of the protective gear, because you never know, even in your house, there's all kinds of things. There's tables that could get in the way, or counters, or all kinds of obstacles that you could encounter in your house where if you were to fall, you could get hurt. So if you have protective gear, you're going to be better off. So we have some different ones. I'll show you the inexpensive stuff first. So these are a set of wrist guards, because obviously, you want your hands and your wrists to be protected. Now these are all right. They're okay. And they've got a good, hard protection for your wrist, for your hand. But the thing I don't like about these is that it's open in the back. So basically, if you put one of these on, let's see if I can get this on here and show you. If you put this on, see how it's open here in the back? I mean, you're protected this way. It's got your wrist, it's got your palm, so that if you fall, and that's another thing while I'm thinking of it, if you do fall, make sure you put your fingers out and up. If you find yourself going to fall, don't do this because you don't want to fall on your fingers. So try to remember to do this. But what I don't like about this is that it's open right here, so you don't really have a lot of protection back here. So as soon as I show you these other ones, I'll show you the difference. And this comes with the elbow pads, which these are pretty decent. I mean, they're all right. And it also has the knee pads. So these are all right. They're okay. But I think these other ones that I have are much better. I'll start with the wrist guards. Okay. I'm going to show you the difference. Okay, so on this one, this is what's going to protect your hand if you fall. There's like a metal plate inside here to protect this underside of your wrist. There's also a metal plate on this side, so you can see the difference. That other one I showed you, it's open. You can tell. But this one is going to protect you a lot more than the other one. And this is actually a very well-known and very popular brand. It's a 888 brand that a lot of skateboarders use, and skaters use. All kinds of people use this particular brand. It's a better quality, and I just think it's better protection. I really like these, and they're comfortable. And for me, comfort is very important. It's like, I really want to be comfortable. We've got the elbow pads, which, as you can probably see, let me show you this. Look at the difference in these elbow pads. you can see how much more of an area this pad is going to cover than this one. And personally, I think this one is very comfortable, and I really like the colors. They come in all kinds of different colors, so you don't have to get this color. This is just one I have over here to show you, and this is my personal favorite. They call this one Shaved Ice. They've got one called Sunset, they've got black ones, they've got all different kinds. I mean, there's plenty of different choices you could make besides just, this one. Then the knee pads. I love these knee pads. Once again, let's see here. You can see the difference in the knee pads. This covers a much larger area. And what I particularly like about this, because a lot of people say that, if you're wearing these, it kind of, if you're standing up, it sort of digs in the top of your thigh and everything, it's like, but what's good about that is it makes you bend your knee, which is very important when you're skating, because when you're skating, you need to have your knees bent. You need to make sure that they're bent, and that basically if you look down, which don't do while you're skating, don't look at the ground, you need to look ahead. But if you're getting ready to go skate and you want to know if your knee is bent enough, when you look down, you should not see your skate. You should see your knee. So that's very important too. But this is very comfortable for me. I don't mind at all that it comes up so high. I prefer it that way. I feel a lot safer having more coverage. More protection is what I feel like it is. And speaking of protection, we can't forget our head. So hold on 1 second. All right. Now, I have this type of helmet. This is a cheaper helmet. It's a decent helmet, and of course we have different sizes. There's nothing really wrong with this one, and you can adjust it in the back. But one thing I don't like about this helmet is there's really not much padding inside. There's a little tiny bit of padding right here, and a little tiny bit right here. But it's not the most comfortable. But it is very important to wear a helmet, so it's really kind of about personal preference, what you like. But I personally, I'm not that crazy about this one. But this helmet, this one matches with these, and all of the other colors and styles that they sell in this brand all come with, or you can get matching helmets. You don't have to, but I think it's really cool that you can. So these match, and what's really nice about this helmet is it has lots of padding. It has different types, so you can mix and match to suit your own needs. So for me personally, I put the thicker pads in because it has two sets. It has a thicker one and a thinner one. And I chose to use the thicker one, and I find it very comfortable. This is an extremely comfortable helmet. I was really surprised. But it fits perfectly. I feel very safe having it on, and it looks really cool. I just think it's absolutely beautiful. All the different colors and everything. I love this. And I just love how it matches so well with everything. It's perfect. So, this is the one I would recommend. Actually, I don't know if you've ever heard of Tony Hawk, but he's actually a very famous skateboarder. And he wears this helmet, not this color. He wears a black one that I've seen, but he recommends these. He actually wears this helmet when he skateboards. So I think that's pretty good. I think that says a lot about the quality of this. So there's really only one other thing that I think I wanted to show you, and that's a skate bag. Hold on. So we have this skate bag here. I'm not really sure why it has this little pocket thing right here. I don't really think anybody would want to put their credit cards or anything in it. It's a little odd. I personally don't use that, but it's got mesh on either side, and so you can put one skate on each side, which keeps them separate from anything else in the bag. So let me show you real quick. See, I've got one skate on this side and one skate on this side. So it keeps them protected so that things aren't scraping them up or bumping up against them. And then it also has the strap so you can carry it over your shoulder. And then this middle section works perfectly for carrying all your gear. So hold on, let me put the gear in and I'll show you. Alright, so got the skates. In this middle section, I've got my little bag with my tools in it, and I also keep bearings and a little bit of oil for the bearings in case I need to change them out. And then I've got my helmet. I put inside the helmet, I put the wrist guards because it kind of gets filled up fast with all this in there. And then I've got my elbow pads and my knee pads. So all of that fits in there. do find though that when you go to put things in, it's best to put the skates in first, then put this stuff in, and kind of lay it down to zip it up. Because it can be a little bit full. But it works really well. It's got a handle on the top. And then you can carry it over your shoulder. So is there anything else that you wanted to ask me about or see? Okay. Well, great. All right. Well, if you go back in there, there's all kinds of skates to look at. Just, if you have any more questions, you can come back and ask me. But like I was telling you, if you want certain things with your skates, like an adjustable toe stop or anything like that, make sure that you ask the salesperson in there to show you those. And we've got laces, we've got all the gear, everything is right in there. So enjoy shopping, and I hope you find everything you need. But feel free to come back and ask me anything if there's something that you want to ask me about. I'll be happy to help you. Okay. Well, good luck, and I hope you enjoy skating as much as I do. I love it. Well, that's wonderful. I wish you all the best. Okay. Bye.